Hola, bon dia. I hope you're whistling along as my guest today, Mia Esmeriz, was in the green room. I'll bring her on in just a moment. Let's say hello to a few people. Yes, of course. Hola, bon dia, alegria, here on the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com with me, Carl Munson. Feeling a little bit tired this morning after the last of our wine tastings. We have retired at 50 wine tastings on the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club. Fine evening had by all, finished with a beautiful Alentasian white wine last night. And you can see all of those in our YouTube channel, all the 50 wines that we reviewed. We did them publicly and often were quite unguarded at times, but that's what happens when you drink wine, right? Hola, bon dia from California, just 10 days away from arriving in Lisbon. The month-long scouting trip coming up for Hank Stalica and Mrs. Hank on July the 4th. That's some independence right there, isn't it, over here in Portugal? That's fantastic news, Hank. Looking forward to shaking your hand in real life. Hola, bon dia, alegria from Snatty Phil, our guest yesterday, who is sharing Hank's excitement. Great to talk to you yesterday, Phil. Lots of fun and lots of requests to have you back, so we'll have to do that. Elra Linda in Finland, good morning, everybody. And up there in that part of the world, roughly speaking, it's somebody, Anna sent me a wonderful video of Swedish Midsummer. They take it very seriously up there in a very sort of pagan-y way. Thank you for that video. I'm thinking of making myself a garland of birch leaves and fine flowers. Everyone deserts the city, apparently, Stockholm, and they go out into the countryside and enjoy midsummer with a bit of booze there. I'm giving it up. I'm giving it up. That's part of the reason why I'm retiring from the wine club. A dry year for me awaits for my birthday in July. Thanks. Hope to meet many expats. I'm sure you will, Hank. And Wolfgang Wust is here. I think Wolfgang joins us for Mia's sessions here. We're learning European Portuguese this morning. Any questions you've got about European Portuguese, get them in those comments, folks. And Joel's here to help as well. The real Portuguesa from up in the north, Matosinhos. Bon dia from a sunny Povo de Vargem. Certainly was whistling along. Yes, we do that, don't we? It's lovely. Dominic Plecher is here. Good morning, Dominic. How are you? Excellent. Bon dia to you. Mark Stoll. Sorry, I messed your name up there, didn't I? I was going to say Plechter for some reason. Don't know why. I'm going to go with Dominic Plecher. And I may be corrected on that in due course. Mark Stoll as well. Bon dia. And Paul Richards, good to have your company on the webinar last night. That's part of the reason why I'm a bit, not bounding with vitality this morning. It was a busy evening last night. We had Gilda Pereira with us from Imigrante on with us for the webinar Myths and Facts. We'll get that up on YouTube later on this morning. So greetings from Paul in San Rafael. You're in an uncompromising mood last night, Paul. It's a super day in the Algarve. Got to sort out fish and chips. Come back to that. I wonder what that means. Bon dia from Perafita. It's Peter from Perafita, and I hope everyone enjoyed their San João Sardinhas. I think they probably did. Did you, Peter? Tell us more. Okay, here she is. Mia's here, folks. I surprised you.
You never let me know when you're going to do that, and I'm like,
yes,
doing something. And I was like, oh, I'm live. Hi, everyone.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It does say here that you can call me anytime, so I should be more on top of my toes, like.
Oh.
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Bom dia. Bom dia. Bem, e tu?
This is what I want to talk to you about today. There you go. You've given me the answer already, because I'm often stuck. I want to say, and when I first came to Portugal, I was saying if I say to people, and I think that's a little bit too formal, isn't it? And there you are. You said the right thing. E tu is all you need to say when you're checking with people, right?
Yeah, this is a very complicated topic in a way, because we have two ways of addressing people, more formally and more informally. And supposedly we have tu, which is for informally, or like to speak informally, and we have você to speak formally. This is, I say supposedly, because this você, it's more to explain. I use it more to explain this formal way of treatment, but in fact, in everyday life, I'm not saying e você. I know that in some regions it is still used, and some people still use it. Even on TV, they still use it sometimes. But it seems like a little bit, how can I say this, unprestigious to say this. I don't know if it's making sense. Yeah, because like we use the você with the third person of the verb. So I asked you e tu. So if I wanted to say the complete sentence, I would say e tu como estás, right? So I would use the second person of the verb estar. But if I use você, if I want to speak formally, I will use the third person of the verb, and I will say como está, right? Como está.
All
Do you
right.
understand?
Yeah, I do.
But the thing with você is that it's there more to mark this third person, like when I'm teaching you or something. But as I said, to me and to many people, it sounds a little bit unprestigious. I don't know how else to say it.
No, but that's interesting, because I thought I guess I was reaching for my grasp of French, and and vous is more formal and polite rather than the opposite, isn't it? So you can't make
it's like for many people they still use it like that. So e você, you will hear this, and it's okay also if you say it. It's not really bad or something. But for example, I would either not use anything if the context allows me. So I would either just say como está, and I'm speaking to you because you're there in front of me. So I'm not using any tu or você or anything. I'm just marking the third person with the verb itself. So I'm just saying como está, and I'm treating you politely because I'm saying como está and not como estás, right? So I'm marking it by just using the third person of the verb. Another way to do it instead of você is saying e o senhor.
Okay.
So using o senhor or a senhora. So if I wanted to treat you formally, I don't know you at all, right? And I want to be polite, extra formal, then you would ask me, olá, como está? And I would say, estou bem, e o senhor, if you're a man, or e a senhora, if you're a woman. Okay, so you're a man, obviously. So e o senhor. Yeah. So, and there is also a third way of doing it. So you can either omit the subject and you just use the verb, as I said, como está. You can use o senhor or a senhora, o senhor como está, or e o senhor como é que está. And you can also use the name of the person, the first name. So imagine that you and we know each other already. I don't want to be extra formal as to use e o senhor. So I'm going to say you, Carl. So I'm using your first name instead. So these are some alternatives for você. And I explain all of this in a lot of detail in my courses and so on. But yeah, it's a little bit complicated at first and a bit hard to explain in 10 minutes. But yeah, these are the alternatives for você. But if you use você, don't worry, because it's also okay.
All right. Well, that's what we try and do. We don't have a great deal of time, but it's lovely to see you every month, and we can ask these sort of general questions and get a little bit of a pointer. And of course, yes, the thing to do is to enroll. I'm putting a link in for enrolling. It helps us out if you use the affiliate code there. For transparency purposes, we work in partnership with Mia because we really like what she does, and we all benefit from that. I think everybody benefits there because that's the free course as well. So we all get a little bit of value and fun, and also some verbs.
Yeah, I realized it's complicated, but
Okay.
at first, this is just at first, then you're gonna get the hang of it, and it's
Of
gonna come.
course, of course, and also you're going to get started. That's the important thing: is to get started, get talking to people, make the mistakes, and we as we regularly say, Portuguese people are very happy when you try, and very accommodating with how terrible one's accent or grammar might be, and that's really helpful. It's you will not be sneered at. I've never had that happen to me. I've always had very good responses to being a trier. And being tried.
Definitely.
Sure.
Be a trier. We like that.
Yeah, is that an expression? God loves a trier. So we can come back, I hope, to that because this might be happening for other people. It's like, what was that situation I had the other day where I was completely run out of options? This is the morning to help you go beyond the cul-de-sac of the language, because I've got a couple more things to ask about that. But let's see how everyone's doing. Dr. Rashid is here as well. Good morning, mate. Regards from Dubai. That's very familiar, and I like that. We might find out what the Portuguese equivalent of that might be. Would that be Malta, to say hello, mate, or guys, or rapaz, or something like that?
Mate is for you, right? Only, not for the people in general. Olá, rapaz, for example.
Right,
Olá, pá. We say pá.
Olá, pá.
Pá.
Okay.
Olá, pá. Tudo bem?
Okay, fantastic.
It's very informal.
Okay, you can't be saying that to the doctor or the vicar.
No, that's weird. If you go there, olá, pá, tudo bem? The doctor will be like, okay.
Yes, okay. Join the back of the queue, please. Good morning, Wireless One. Now, what is that? Is that some sort of CB thing? Wireless One, are you there? 10-4, are you copying me? I wonder what Gary means there. But he also says he's got a nice Brummie greeting for you. Mia, you're right, Babs. That's
You're
his.
right, Babs. Yeah, I'm all right.
There you go, Gary. You got what you wanted. Yes, Carl. Same here in Finland. Everybody goes to their summer cottages to get drunk. Okay, this is a Northern European thing. But Portugal also has their pagan roots and build bonfires as well. I haven't seen any bonfires for celebrating Midsummer. Are you in tune with any Midsummer celebrations here that you can tell us about?
Yeah, so we had here São João, which is St. John's. St. John's night, and then it's the holiday was yesterday. And normally without COVID, there, lots of people go to the street with a plastic hammer in their heads and they hit each other's heads. I don't know where this comes from.
Yes. It used to be the leek, didn't it? It's a fertility thing, of course.
Yeah, I guess there are some, again, pagan roots, I guess. And also like these bonfires, right now, I don't think they exist so much anymore. But when my mom was young, definitely there were a lot of bonfires, and you actually had to jump over it if they were not too big to burn you. So there was probably a pagan situation going on there. I'm not sure, but my mom even came out in the cover of a magazine when she was a teenager, like she was jumping over the bonfire. So there were definitely bonfires, and maybe there are still in some places, but I guess they kind of forbid people to do bonfires in the middle of the street like that. But
they stopped all the fun, haven't they? But I suppose, with the summer fire risks as well. That's not.
Yeah, we also launched these. I think you call it Chinese balloons.
Oh yes,
Yeah, with the fire, and like they were forbidden 2 years ago before the COVID because of the fires in the forest. So.
They also end up around animals' heads and stuff like that, don't they? Or animals.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah, we can do without that one, but taking away the fun of jumping over bonfires for teenagers. I mean, that sounds like a real rite of passage and something quite exciting to do. That, when you're a kid and there are certain things you look forward to, like staying up late or going out on your own or going out with your friends for the first time. I think jumping a bonfire might be one of those. And it's lovely to hear of this complexity and these layers of things, because, of course, we're aware of San João and sardines And nothing says to somebody, "I want to have your babies," by hitting them on the head with a plastic hammer. Now we're beginning to understand the Portuguese psyche with that. And it used to be an organic leak, I understand. But yes, I didn't realize the whole Midsummer thing is connected in with that as well. So thank you
Yeah.
very much for that. Okay, Elra is saying, yes, você e moco de extrabalha. So, okay, so it is unprestigious. Você is addressing the stable.
Moço.
Most, beg your
I
pardon.
think it's because there is a squiggly thing missing on the C,
That's
because
right. That's
probably
what threw me. Yeah, that's what threw me.
that's probably from the keyboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, because again, você, I don't know. Some people even say, esta é da terra dos vocês. This one is from the vocês land or something, So
Really?
as it's not a good thing, if you're saying você. I can't explain really well why. I don't know how this started.
I've been saying it for the last 2-3 years to people as well, so I'll stop that.
But it's okay because you are a foreigner, and no, seriously, because
when I do something like that, I distinguish myself as a ignorant foreigner, don't I?
No. Again, it's very maybe where you live, even it's accepted to say it.
Okay. Right.
It's also a question of which region are you living, and I think that, for example, here in Porto City, people don't really like it so much because
Right.
it comes as I don't know. It's like more, I don't like to say this, but it's more like if you're an uneducated person, I don't know. It's weird. it's I don't know why we have this. I wish we didn't, because it would be
a little bit of
simpler.
a class thing. I mean, who has a stable boy these days anyway?
Yeah.
Maybe some of the expats listening here still wish they had a stable boy. It just sounds like something from a novel, doesn't it? What, Lady Chatterley's Lover or something like that. It was Anna who sent us the video this morning. Yes, born dear from Stockholm. We are celebrating Midsummer in Sweden today, so the 25th of June, and not 21st. Okay, well, have a great time. I wonder what that is in Swedish. We could learn a bit of Swedish today. What would be the greeting that Swedish people would bestow upon each other? And also, what's Swedish for stable boy? Victoria Benson, hola, bon dia todos de Atlanta. Early morning in Atlanta, Georgia this morning. And a question from Mark Rigby. He's been triggered to ask you. Okay, great. I would like to know when and why to use duas instead of Deutsch. I know that when at my butcher's, he's got his own butcher. Check him out. I tell you, if I ask for something and then want it again, I would say duas vezes rather than dois vezes. But I don't know. Why is that, Mia?
Okay. So the numbers normally only have one form. So 3, 4, 5 only have one form, except for number 1 and 2. So 1 can be or uma.
Sim.
And 2 can be dois or duas, right?
Okay.
So, which is exactly what Mark is saying.
Yes.
So why is it duas vezes instead of dois vezes? Because the word to is going to change according to the word that comes next. If the word that comes next is feminine, then it will be duas.
Okay.
If the word that comes next is masculine, then it will be dois. So vezes is feminine because you say a vez. So vez means like the turn or the time. Okay. So if you want to say it's my turn, you're gonna say é a minha vez, for example.
Yeah.
Or if you want to say 2 times, then you are gonna say duas vezes, because vezes is feminine. It's a feminine word. Okay, so let's use a simpler example. So if you have 2 girls, you're gonna say duas meninas, because menina is feminine, right? If you have 2 boys, you're gonna say dois meninos, because meninos is masculine. So 1 and 2 are gonna change according to the noun that comes after. If it's a masculine noun, it's gonna use the masculine version of 1 or 2. And if it's a feminine noun, it's you're gonna use the feminine version of 1 or 2. So
Very good. That's a lovely thing to have explained there. So 1 and 2 have the variance, but the other numbers don't. Even if
yes,
you
so
go to
you're gonna say três meninas and três meninos because it doesn't change, and
okay,
quatro meninas and quatro meninos. So
and if you go up to like 21, 22, do you change
then
it?
you change it again. Yes. So when you have the 1 or 2, even if it's not just 1 or 2, but 21 or 22 or 101 or 102, then you change it again. So if the 2 or 1 are at the end, you will change it. So you can say 21 meninos or 21 meninas.
There you go, Mark. That's great. But what I wanted to know is what is he asking for in a butcher? What he says like 2 times. What would that be about?
Like if you want, I don't know, I guess if you want 2 sausages or 2, I don't know. I have no idea. Like
But you
2
would
and
be. I mean, my shuma would be more another one, wouldn't it? Right?
one
Yeah,
more. Maizuma, yeah, it could also be.
my
Yeah.
Zuma. Okay, sorry, I'm going for a maish rather than my Zuma. My Zuma. Okay,
Yeah, because you have an S and then you have the vowel sound afterwards. So
yeah,
that's when you do z instead of sh, you know?
very. All right, excellent stuff. Thank you, Mark. Question from Gary as well. In your opinion, is it okay to use a posso ter por favor when you can say "Can I have please"? It just seems more friendly. Posso ter. Why the ter por favor? What's
It's
happening
like posso ter literally is literally translated from English as may I
there?
have.
Okay,
So that is have, right? Funny thing is, since I speak English here at home with my boyfriend, Dominic Plecha, by the way,
pleasure. Okay, not pleasure.
it
Pleasure.
it
Okay.
is, it's funny because, just a side note, when he was here for the first time in Portugal, people just call him Dominic Pleasure. It sounds like pleasure.
Yes,
It was very funny.
I bet.
Anyway, yeah, so yeah, very funny. But yeah, it's pleasure. It's
Pleasure. Okay,
hard for people here. But as I was saying, so as I speak English a lot around here, I don't know why I start making this direct translation sometimes as well into Portuguese, and I say, "Posso ter a água? May I have the water?" And my mom is like, "Posso ter a água? What are you saying?" Like, I'm like, it's weird because I don't know how to say this in English, in Portuguese right away, like because it's a really good expression. So I agree with Gary.
yeah.
Posso ter, por favor, would be excellent. The thing is, we don't really use it in
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we would say it as similar as this. Posso ter, por favor, is like normally if you want to ask for the water or something, you say podes chegar-me a água, por favor, or podes dar-me a água, por favor. This is
Right.
like, can you give me the water or pass me the water or something like this. But now, if this is in a butcher, for example, again, and you are just asking, may I have 2 sausages, as we were saying, then you can just simply use queria.
Queria, sim.
Queria. So
Yeah.
that's the polite form to say, I would like. So
Queria
queria
2
duas
salsichas.
salsichas, por
Yeah.
favor.
Okay. There you
Uh,
go.
yeah.
That's so interesting. Often the way, isn't it? You come up with a literal translation, which does make a lot of sense, and then it's not like that after all. But
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be compromised by coming out with that. People will know what you're getting at and know
Yeah,
you're.
exactly. Exactly. Not like my mother who doesn't allow for I'm
Mums,
just kidding.
yeah, mums are allowed to do that, aren't they? Especially,
Yeah.
yes, especially if it's for somebody in your position. I think you got your back there, hasn't she?
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
the wineless one. Not yet, Gary. I think I've got 2 weeks to go yet. And I was thinking I might still buy wine. We were talking to Neil Perkins last night, who was advising us on these incredible Vidigueira wines that celebrate Vasco da Gama's travels. is it 1498, the famous wine that they make, and investing in those wines. I might still do that. You don't have to drink them, do you? You can buy these things of beauty that are beautifully presented Portuguese wines. So I might still do that, Gary. And it's only for a year.
It should be 1498. That's when he discovered the way to India.
Discovered, yes, because it was always there, really,
It
wasn't it?
was always there. Yeah. We say, he discovered it. No,
Yes.
it's there. But yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
And there are Indian people waiting and saying, "Oh my goodness, thank goodness you're here, and we've now been discovered. We were
Yeah,
waiting.
exactly. Like, hi.
Now we can get on with our lives." Okay, there's a more informal one, but I will only disclose it if teacher doesn't mind. Well, that's very formal, professor. He's being very formal there. Do you mind if he announces this even
I
more?
don't. I'm not sure what's gonna come out of it. The more informal one. But-
Informal, not formal.
And
Okay, it's
I also found it funny that I think it was Gary. He wanted to write wineless and autocorrect does its things and wrote wireless. That's really
right.
funny.
That's right. And I'm trying to
Wireless.
figure out what he's talking about. And it's just the computers have been interfering with our lives again. Okay, Hank, this is the thing. Maybe when you arrive in Portugal, you should bring your plastic squeaky hammers. Because if you are asked by, the frontier force what you're doing here, and you open up your suitcase and there are two plastic squeaky hammers in there, they'll think, this is a guy who understands the culture. Have a
Yep.
great day. Come on in.
But
And yet,
it has to be plastic. Otherwise, people might think something completely different.
oh yes, don't bring real hammers, Hank. That's
No.
not going to help to have those in your luggage. I mean, they're going to be seen on. You can imagine it, can't you, on the X-ray? Two sort of hammers. Sorry, UK keyboard doesn't have the Portuguese characters. That threw me, but you're absolutely forgiven. And there's a Cedilla C, especially from Joel there. Oh, here's a good question. This is just down the road from me, Hank. Is the Obidos Medieval Festival happening this year? I think Joel is right. Probably not. I've seen no advertising for that, and it's been a very quiet year for all the festas. Absolutely, down to a minimum this year, and hoping for better next year. And people will be so happy, won't they? When they're back in the festa time, it's going to be so.
Oh yeah, I think this is the hardest time now. It's when we can't celebrate San Juan, we can't celebrate this, we can't celebrate that. That's really difficult.
Yes, you can celebrate football, Mia. Isn't that great?
Also, yeah.
Bob Spondon, bon dia,
No,
everyone. Sorry,
I was watching the game and I was so upset in a way. So I have a video of myself very.
But because of people you would never know there'd been a pandemic, would you? When you look at the crowd and you look at the football event,
yeah,
it's just like in a parallel universe, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's fine that if that's what the decision is, as long as it's consistent.
Yeah.
People have been robbed of their village festa in a way. But if it comes to football, one of your politicians, I think, is saying, "Yeah, everybody go to Spain," or is it Belgium?
Yeah, it was to Spain, to the south of Spain. Everyone goes to Spain. Yay!
It's like when people have been drinking, isn't it? If football's involved, it's like nothing matters. Although I have to say, I wanted to ask you about this more from a culture than a language thing. Last Saturday's Portugal match, I went to my local cafe. And there was nobody there. Are people in Portugal actually quite afraid and have got used to staying indoors? I thought I'd be in the cafe with all my new Portuguese best friends and we'd be shouting and cheering together. I mean, unfortunately, we weren't because it was a really difficult match.
Yeah.
But nobody was there except one other foreigner. What's going on? Are people a bit scared to go out still?
Okay, my camera does this from time to time. I don't know why. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think the Portuguese are, the numbers are going higher again. And I think in certain regions, people are a bit more afraid. And I don't know, for example, I wanted to watch it, but I rather stay home and watch it here than going somewhere else. And it was a little bit because of the virus. Maybe people just thought the same. They all thought, everyone's going to go to a cafe and then it's going to be so crowded. I don't want to go. And then at the end, it ended up no one went, just everyone stayed at home, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's what it was. It was very, very strange and a bit sad actually. But
Yeah.
and in the end, they were glad they didn't go because of the result. Spondon Bob is here. Bon dia, everyone. We will show the video. Spondon Bob. This is the couple, the family that bought a place on the internet in central Portugal, and they've sent me the video. Cheers, Bob and Mrs. Bob or Mrs. Spondon. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's real names or not, but I really appreciate you sending us the video of your first impressions arriving there, and we'll show that as we go out today, which is fantastic. Andy via Austin, I've been saying it for the last 15 years. Yeah, if we're there, maybe in our region it's okay. In the Barrada, I think there's probably a few more stable boys in Barrada than there are in per square mile than in other places there, Andy. We'll see. Or maybe that's why people cross the street when they see you these days. Only kidding. I have one English for stable boy is stable boy. Okay, very good, Hank. I mean, there are many meanings for that, aren't there? As in,
Because you asked in Finnish, I guess. So.
Oh, okay, but that's
even the English one, I guess.
That's American, I think, isn't he? He's giving us the American translation for stable boy, which is stable boy there. And stable boy as in equestrian, not just like a steady young man, although it could be as well. There used to be an old festival in Menorca where hazelnuts were carried around. And if you could throw a nut and hit a girl you liked on the head, you could ask for a kiss. What could possibly go wrong with that, eh? Knowing my luck as a young man, I'd have probably hit her dad. Yes, and I hope that has to apply as well. And you would have had to kiss the dad, much to the horror of the young lady in question. Yes, it's what a shame that these traditions are disappearing. Joel, I think the more correct form in Portuguese is rapaz da cavalariça. Okay, that's the boy, the stable boy. Okay, very good. Thanks, Mia from Mark. That makes perfect sense. And it was so good, Mark, for you to take us into the talio, to the butchers, because it just took me to the world of. Do you remember, Mia? And I was going to ask you because we might have had this conversation about how you got into being a language teacher, but in the early days of language teaching, it was all about phrase books, wasn't it? And you would you'd have a page of things to say in the in the butchers or the cobblers or in these shops. May I get my shoes re-heeled here, please? And then you say it in Portuguese, and then you're in the butcher. May I buy 3 sausages, please?
Yeah.
Thanks so much, isn't it?
Yeah, like I think back in the days, it was more like you have to know these sentences, and you kind of know them by heart, and then okay, you go out and you try to say them. And many times there were really weird examples that no one would actually use in everyday life. I don't know really what right now from the top of my head, but sometimes was things that you would think, why am I gonna use that, or what am I gonna use this for? But yeah, it was more like know it by heart and don't understand the language. Just it doesn't matter. You just have to know this. But now we are trying to do things a little bit differently. So
it would be like okay, section 10 at the plumber's merchant. Good afternoon. Do you stock the Essex flange? And you'd have to learn something like that, some sort of specialist plumbing part, as if you might need it. But so
exactly.
Brilliantly, things have changed. Snatty Phil.
In my courses, I try to do it a little bit differently, so don't worry about that. Yeah. I try to use things that you're actually gonna use, and so.
And if you need any plumbing parts, speak to Joel. Joel can help. That's where you need your Portuguese best friends who know things about cars or plumbing or electronics or something like that, for that specialist stuff that used to be weird in books. Stable girl or stable hand. It is tricky. Yes, I could get you in trouble translating stable hand, couldn't it? Joel, probably that's why they said maybe it's a Lisboa thing. Oh, that was something else I discovered recently. And you might like this. Because you're the tripe people, aren't you, in Porto?
Yeah.
And the Lisboetas are the lettuce people, right? The Alfacinas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They think that, yes.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I like what you said there, Mia. And so you're left with the tripe, as I think Joel was saying, because you sent the navy away with the best cuts of meat and just ended up with the tripe in Porto. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. Yes. No, like the tribe comes from, like, there are many theories, but the tribe, like, we had here kind of a war going on, and the people were inside of the walls, kind of stuck. They couldn't go out. So this is one of the theories. They started using the tribe of the animals, like, because that was all there was left. So we kind of we had to eat, right? Like, the people
Good.
had to eat, so they started using it, and then it became a very known dish here. This is one of the theories, but there are more. So like the people from the boats, or I think they also started eating this. I don't really know the other version. Maybe someone here knows, but yeah. So that's, I really like to eat that. So I think I'm a true
I like a bit of tripe.
person.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I like a bit of tripe. We could swap tripe recipes, but I just think it's fantastically funny as well, because the Lisboetas are, we eat lettuce. It's all healthy and and salady.
They are called alfacinhas, yeah,
Yeah,
alfacinhas,
that's
and we
right.
are called tripeiros.
To be
So
fair, up in Porto, there, we're tripe people up here.
yeah.
Good old, honest, old-fashioned tripe. Right, so Jill, maybe.
I actually have to say that I do like lettuce and vegetables, and I do think we should eat less meat. I just wanted to disclose this. So, but yeah, but that's the story.
Yes, well, that's the Porto hipster culture as well, isn't it? Estrebaria is more the place where the cattle sleeps, or on a more religious reference, where Jesus was sleeping. Oh, okay, so in a stable. Yes, no room at the inn.
Yeah.
Cavalariça is how I know has a proper reference too. There you go for horses. Thank you very much for that, Joel. Really helpful. Peter from Perafita. I suppose if you can say posso ter, por favor, you can also say queria ter, for I would like to have. Is that right? Would you put a ter in with a queria?
No, again, like posso ter is not really used here, so I would just say queria without a ter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, as well as knowing about plastic hammers, Elra's suggesting that Hank should learn about caretos as well. Can we talk about that?
I am not sure. This is from some other region. Caretos, I think it's also some. It's some other thing from a festival, or from something. I guess that Elra will let us know, because I've heard of it, but I'm not sure I'm correct about it. So I'm not gonna give a, because it's not like a Portuguese word or anything. It's a name of something. I
All
think.
right,
But
Elra.
she will tell us about it, I
Oh,
guess.
she will, and she's giggling already. An English keyboard will type some of the accents if you press Alt Gur. I often go Gur when I'm like,
Grr.
yes, but Alt Gur. What is the Gur button? I see. Do you know? We've been having these keyboards in front of us for years, haven't we? And I've never noticed the Alt Gur button in my life.
Alt grow, isn't it growing,
No,
groaning? I don't know what it is.
exactly. And this is in front of you for most of your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's face it. And I've never noticed that. So thank you very much. You only see what you want to see, don't you? Snatty feels so pleased that England aren't playing Portugal. It still might happen, though, right, Phil? At some point. That could be the final. Can you imagine? England versus Portugal, or probably Portugal versus Germany. I think it could be the final.
That will be a disaster here at home.
Yeah.
Can't
What,
be.
England versus? Oh, for you, yes, Portugal and Germany. I think that's still a possible combination.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad that people in Portugal are continuing to observe protective measures better than people in the UK. It says Mark. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Maybe I should have stayed at home. And football, Fatima e Fado, they are the three Fs, aren't they? Sempre mesma coisa. Haja paciência, amoro. What is he talking
haja
about?
paciência, murro. It's
Amoro.
like, because we were saying that football is always like something from another world, right? That is
Hey,
a parallel thing. So
yeah.
these three words, football, Fátima e fado, football, Fátima e fado, these were like three Fs of the Portuguese, what we cherish the most somehow. It was from the dictatorship time, I guess, because
Yeah.
that was all that mattered. And, as long as people are entertained with these three things, they won't think about the politics and how the country really is, the problems. So I think he's saying it's always the same thing, sempre a mesma coisa. Haja paciência, amor. It's like, let us be patient, or we need patience for this, like as in we're fed up with it, but it's always the same thing. Can't do anything about it. It's annoying.
And
So that's what he's saying.
Coisa is one of my favorite words in Portuguese.
Coisa.
Yeah, coisa and alguma coisa. I just wanted to rename myself Mr. McCoisa for some reason. It's a lovely word, isn't it? Thing.
Yeah.
And I think the fourth F could be food. Obviously, that's not a Portuguese word, but
No.
fado and food would be a really good combo, right? Just for the fourth
Yeah.
F. I think Gary's getting at the thing, do you cut the hairs? This is one of the translation problems, isn't it? Rather than can I get a haircut? Do you cut the hairs? He's probably done that himself in Alvazra there. The Essex flange is so useful to those who are left-handed. Phil, getting my reference there to that legendary plumbing part. Knowing phrases sounds like that classic French phrase book. Yes, is that where it comes from?
That's it.
Is that what it was called? La plume de ma tante? Because I've said plume de ma tante for decades now, and I've never heard a French person say that. So the pen of my aunt rather than the feather of my aunt there. Okay, those days, that's what we're talking about here, the plume de ma tante. And I wonder if there's a similar Portuguese classic or an English representation of Portuguese that is the same as plume de ma tante. I wonder. Bon dia from Pamela Smith, Pam Smith in Alcobaça. Hey, Pam, how are you doing this morning? Hey, Mia. Question for you. What's that saying about party in Lisbon, study in Coimbra, work in Porto?
Yeah. That's a saying we have here, which means that in Lisbon, the people only party. In Coimbra, you go for studying, and in Porto is where people actually do the work. So this was always an idea that the Portuguese had in general. I bet that the people from Lisbon don't agree with this. But it was more like here we were hard workers, and there is still a difference even in salaries, for example. Like people in Lisbon earn more than people in the same position in Porto. This still happens in some cases. And I think it comes from this sense of there is a disadvantage here.
Yes, it's always the way, isn't it? North and south, wherever
I don't know
you
exactly. And of course, Coimbra, the studies, because the University of Coimbra is one of the oldest ones. People used to go to Coimbra to study, and that's why. So
it gets deeper and richer. Look, I think people from Porto call people from the Lisboa Moors.
Mouros, os Mouros. Yeah, that's and you have to make this really heavy Porto accent. Os Mouros, like. Yeah, that's true.
North and south, fantastic. Bom dia, Bia e Carla e a todos. Dilema para quem devo apoiar no domingo. So what's that? Dilemma.
Dilema para quem devo apoiar no domingo. So I think he's Belgium.
Yeah, she is from Belgium. Yeah, that's right.
Sorry. So I think because Portugal is going to play against Belgium on Sunday.
Of course, a dilemma there, yeah.
And so it's a dilemma about who I should support on Sunday.
No dilemma. Portugal all Asia. Let us help with that. Portugal, absolutely Portugal. Queridos from okay, and
exactly.
Pedro. Anna and Pedro saying that. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, Pedro. Thank you for that. Bon dia, Hank. 10 more sleeps until Portugal. We're counting down together. That's beautiful. And I'll leave this one to you, Bia. I don't know.
Exactly. Stora, caretos são aqueles homens mascarados do centro-sul de Portugal or Trás-os-Montes, I guess, because we've had people saying homens solteiros que assediavam as raparigas da aldeia em tempo de festa. Exactly. This is what I thought. So it's Joel, right? That is saying that caretos. It's what we call to men that are kind of disguised as, I don't know. It's like it's like a special costume, and they are representing the young men that were going after the village girls in times of party or something. You know, like
Yeah.
I knew I thought it's this, but since it's I wanted someone to explain if they know, if they are from the place, because I think it's such a interesting.
Look at these guys. This
Yeah,
is it.
exactly. It's more
Yeah.
or less this, yeah.
So
And
actually,
I've seen even on TV the other day, I think it was something related to this, that sometimes you don't even know. There are places where there is only one of these, or maybe it's not really caretos, but I know there was like a disguise, and sometimes you didn't even know who was inside. Like there was
wow,
always one person selected, and you didn't know who was inside. A bit like
wow,
Santa
scary.
Claus. Or
Yes, or the tooth fairy or something like that. But the interesting thing here is, did you mention that it's the way to get a girl or to show a
yeah.
girl? I mean, she
Yeah,
doesn't look.
it was the guys that went after the girls, the single men.
Oh, I see. I mean, is that going to work? I mean, she doesn't look very impressed, does she, by that? She looks a little
No,
bit.
it's like with a sorriso amarelo, yellow smile, we say.
Yellow smile of doubt, I
Like,
think there. But I mean that is an amazing tradition, and I have seen that before. I just didn't recall that it was called Karetush there.
but
But that
now,
is stunning images,
yeah,
aren't they? Really, really
yeah.
incredible. So
But
if
Joelle is saying they are from the center south of Portugal, but the other people said it's from Trás-os-Montes. So now I'm in
yeah,
doubt.
yeah, okay,
Maybe it's from both.
but if Hank wants to make an impression when he arrives in Portugal, he could come dressed like this,
Yes.
with a
And
yellow
bring the plastic hammers just in case.
plastic hammer in each hand and dressed up like this. It's like you will be waved through immigration, I think, dressed up like that. This is a guy who we can take seriously.
Yes.
Okay, Alt Gur actually means alt
It's
graphics. So very
graphic.
good for keyboards there. Com mascaras de madeira as well.
Máscaras, máscaras.
Máscaras, not
There
mascaras.
is an accent missing.
Okay.
Joel.
Joel, honestly, what you like? Caretos from a little place called Podence. Great folklore. Thank you, everybody. This is great. Yeah, Pedro is solving this mystery. Caretos e de Provence. Podence, I beg your pardon. Trajes. Okay, dying from COVID is no joke. Okay, yes, fair point. That's a bit sobering, Hank. Thank
We are here like cariots.
you.
Dying from COVID is no joke.
Sorry, Hank.
Yeah, because it's funny because the messages come with a delay. So then,
Right, that's right. I hope you didn't think I was making COVID jokes or anything there. If you search for Caritas on YouTube, there will be videos if you are curious, and who wouldn't be now? In 2019, this has really sparked people's interest. They were declared an intangible cultural heritage of humanity, and quite rightly so, I think, don't you?
really
So,
interesting.
um,
Definitely.
Pedro and Joel talking to each other there. Fatima being mentioned again. And look at Pam showing off her Portuguese. Estou ótima, esta manhã, obrigada. E vocês?
There is
What?
just one little thing, but the rest is great. Ótimo. E vocês, so without the accent in the E. So it's
Okay,
E. There is a difference between E and E.
right.
So E is from the verb to be,
Yeah.
is, and E is and without the.
But I don't actually know what she's saying there. Are you well? This
Estou. What is estou?
is R, isn't it?
I
As in,
am. I am.
oh, okay. I am
I
well.
am great
Oh, this day. Thank you.
this
Okay, this morning.
morning.
Morning, thank you very much. Okay, it was just okay. So coming back to that, there were a couple of things I wanted to ask you because you can come back with "e contigo" or "e consigo," right?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
it? Do you approve of that?
E consigo, e contigo. Está tudo bem, e consigo. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So everything is fine. What about with you? So consigo or contigo is and with you.
okay,
Because if you say está tudo bem, you have to then use the preposition com. So estar tudo bem com alguém. So it's to be everything good. Let me use the loose translation here, with someone. So everything is good with me. right?
Okay.
So that's how we say it with. So if you ask in that matter, está tudo bem comigo? Everything is fine with me. E contigo, and with you. So
Oh, very
contigo is with you informal. If I
yeah.
treat you with tu, and consigo would be the formal way.
That's nice. Okay, that's good, and that shows you've learned a little bit of more Portuguese there, and you're taking an interest in the other person. I like that. I like that, and I was taught that by Portuguese people. So okay, go with that, folks. There's something else for you to try out. And the other thing, whilst we're on this, I hear Portuguese people talking colloquially in conversation, and they say "Tás bem." What is
Estás
that?
bem.
"Tás
Yeah.
bem."
So we with the verb estar,
Yeah.
you have this es that you see here in Pamela's sentence.
Yes.
Estou ótima. She
Yeah.
could also say, if she was speaking colloquially and fast, she could say tô ótima.
Okay.
So what we do is basically we take the ish away
Yes.
and we just say tô. It's I don't know. I think in English you also have this in certain regions that you kind of eat parts of
Eat
the
the
word,
Yes. Yes.
or I don't know. So this is what we are doing here. There is no rule. It's just when you are speaking fast with your friends and very informally, we just skip the ish because it's so hard. Even we think that. So why saying estou when I can say to?
Yeah.
But it's with the verb estar. We do that. Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm getting at is like it'd be tabang, 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 and that's what you hear. You want someone on the phone, they're going, yeah,
Right.
they can say, yeah, and Portuguese people use okay as well, and they so go, okay, okay, tabang, tabang, tabang,
Yeah.
but also tajbang. Why tajbang? Oh, is that
Because
a colloquial?
no, it's like if you're asking someone if they are good.
Ah, okay,
So you're saying tu estás because tá is the third person when you're saying, okay, everything is okay. So you're
yes,
speaking about, it is okay, it. So you say tá from
yeah,
está. But if I'm asking you,
uh,
and I'm treating you with tu, I'm going to use tu estás. So instead of saying estás bem, I'm going to just say estás bem
tajbang. Okay,
because I'm
excellent,
speaking to you
very
about
good.
you.
All right,
Okay. And
so
you can also say estou bem, estou,
tabang,
if you're speaking about yourself,
tabang.
So you can use it across all the persons,
All right.
depending of what you are saying. So
Very, very good. I'm sorry to be so sort of dense with that, but these are quite little
no,
subtle nuances, aren't they?
it's difficult, yeah.
This a little colloquialism of setting cats among pigeons here. Porto and Birmingham have a lot in common. Lots of swearing, crappy food. Oh, Gary, and too many manual hard jobs. This is why we have to laugh whenever we can. Also, we don't use the letter H or H, as I think Brummies might say. Google
No
or
crappy food here, though, I have to say.
exactly. I think he means
I
wholesome.
know, because
Yeah,
of the tribes thing, right? I think
tribe,
that's
and of
the
course the francesinha. That is quite a complex meal of food.
maybe crappy in the sense of unhealthy, yes,
Yes, but
probably.
delicious. Delicious nonetheless. Google autocorrect now funcionou nas mascaras.
And it
Okay.
didn't work again, Joe.
No, not helping. Would you recommend watching Ros Sesamo? Would you? I don't
Oh,
know.
yes, definitely. I saw someone giving this tip. Rua Sésamo. There is a misspelling there. It's Rua, which is
Ah,
tree.
Ros Sesamo. Sesame
Tree.
Street. Yes, of course.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved it. It was really my thing. But yeah, it's really definitely a good thing to watch cartoons,
Yeah.
Portuguese. Um, Also, like if you're living in Portugal and you have Netflix, you can go to the kids page because they have a kids page, and you can search there all these cartoons because they are spoken in Portuguese, and many of them have subtitles as well, so you can definitely learn a lot from it because it's kind of a simple version of the language in a way, and I think you can really learn from it, definitely.
And have a lot of fun. So you get your
Yeah,
get your box of cereal and be a kid again.
I
Eat,
love it.
eat cereal in front of the cartoons, and you can just sort of veg out, can't you, with your cereal, watching Sesame Street going.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Brought
That's
to you
really
for
cool.
the letra B today.
Uh,
So you okay, Martin. Oh, this is a bit of a change of atmosphere, but Beverly and I had our antigen nasal swab yesterday to fly. I'm sure she reached my stomach contents. Yow! My nose is still bleeding. I watched the long swab almost disappear when Bev had hers. It's like a magic trick, isn't it? You know, the sword swallowing are very unpleasant and more painful than the UK PCR test. Had a wonderful 3 weeks on our Quinta, though, and can't wait to return to live. Well, I hope it's worth all that
yeah,
probing.
I don't know. I also just
Yeah.
recently found out that you don't do this like this in other countries because we were with Dominic's mother in the Algarve last week, and she came from Germany, right? And also she made a test there, it was fine. And then she had to make one returning and she had to do it. And she was so like, why are they doing this like
Right.
this in here? Because in Germany, it's really not like that. It's like on your throat, I think,
Yeah.
more even than the nose. And here it's like, woo, let's clean all these.
Floss your brain. Yeah, stop
I don't
it.
know why they're doing it like this in here. That's the thing. There's no consistency basically
Oh,
across
yeah,
cultures.
absolutely. Hank Stelica. Oh, that's Mrs. M floating past behind me in her dressing gown still. Classy, babe.
No one understood that. No one could see that. If you hadn't said, no one could see. It was
Okay.
so
All right.
fast. But
Angelica, Dragon Ball in Portuguese for the advanced students. So there's teenage cartoons, possibly. Superb.
you
Okay.
don't know Dragon Ball?
No, I don't. I
Oh
know.
my goodness, it was such a big thing in here.
Okay.
It's
All right.
like I think it's Japanese. We have a lot of Japanese cartoons.
I think Joel still watches that actually. Trip, we'll talk about that on the Man Cave tonight. Your favourite cartoons. Tripe, yuck. I don't think Gary likes tripe. Mark thinks it's funny that Portuguese food is called food without quality. That's so Portuguese. Rua Sazamo depois da Alice não pais das maravilhas.
Yeah, Alice no País das Maravilhas is Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, excellent. Okay, very good. Watch all of these great recommendations. We eat faggots, remember. You don't want to know what goes into making them. Yes, the faggot, the great Brummie and Black Country delicacy.
I thought this was just an insult.
It is also an insult, but it is actually the name of a food in Birmingham.
I
So
never had that.
you probably don't want to either, to be honest. Disney movies translated as well from Pedro Carvalho. That's a great suggestion. Really good idea. Mia, what's the difference between a herdar, a quinta, and a quintinha? Great question.
Mm,
It's a matter of
mm.
scale, isn't
So
it?
I think it's in terms of size, but please correct. I'm so like bad in these kind of things because it's very specific,
Yeah,
and the people from the countryside will know this much better. But for me, herdade is bigger than quinta, and quinta is bigger than quintinha. That's the simpler way I can explain this. Quintinha, for example, I've been to one which was more like now you have this country, how do you say this, for tourism, like they make it's a space with like a house with some space outside, and you have some animals, but it's like a smaller thing, and
yeah,
they call it quintinha because it's not really a quinta. A quinta would be bigger, where you have more space, more animals, and
yeah,
that I think it's even bigger, and normally you will have some cultures there as well.
yeah. Often
Yeah,
the
so
wineries are
yeah,
something people do that.
exactly,
Don't they? A
exactly,
small holding is a quintinha. A quinta, I think, is a farm, and the herdad is the more of a production facility, as you say.
exactly.
Very
That's
good. Thank you for that, Mark. Okay, it's 10 o'clock, everybody. We need to conclude. And if you want to get started with Mia's free entry level course, I'm putting that in the comments now. So just a last few comments to share with you. There it is on the screen now.
yeah, and we have there I go again. Yeah,
She's
I don't know why my camera keeps doing this. I'm sorry.
keeps on our
But
toes.
I wanted to say that we have was it a 20% discount on the A1 course
We will
until
organise that.
Sunday?
Yep. Okay, well, I'll make sure that link is circulated on the forum as well, so and on the notes for this video. So thank you for that reminder. 20% discount. How about that? Quintal is the reference for something smaller than a quinta, I think. See, not even Portuguese people know that. And he's going.
I would say for backyard or something. But...
A yard, all right. And also haggis. That's the other thing to try, from the sheep's stomach. And some people actually might come and try. Some expats might do haggis farming here in Portugal. What an amazing business that would be, organic haggis farming. Dragon Ball is very hard. Many people there's many jokes there for people from other countries don't understand. So that's a good way of getting into the psyche and the culture as well. Thanks for the suggestions from Hank. We're so looking forward to seeing you here. And more guidance for the swabbing. You have to put your head back fully. Oh, that actually made me feel a bit ill. Carl, you don't mention Belgium as a contender for the football final, but watch out for the underdogs. Well,
yeah, that's true. Really that's true. Belgium is doing really good.
Yes.
Really well.
Okay. So you're obviously a keen fan there. Mia, are you going to do in-person classes once COVID abates, or maybe for vaccinated students?
I don't have it in plan, but who knows? Who knows? Right now, I don't. I'm concentrated or focused on my courses to, I'm always doing more content, bringing new things out. So then I don't have a lot of time to also give in-person classes. But who knows? Maybe.
You can reach more people this way as well, can't you? I mean, it's the beauty of the technology. You can reach a lot more people.
And I'm always, again, if you do my course, I'm always in the background answering questions. And we have a group where I also, post some things and do some Q&As, especially for my all-in-one Portuguese course. So yeah, I don't have time for everything, but maybe in the future I'll do in-person classes. I don't know.
A residential in a beautiful part of Portugal, perhaps. That would be great. Loved haggis, says Elra. Happy memories of haggis. Looking forward to buying you that beer, Carl. Hoping to connect. Oh, yes, there's a little window between the 4th and the 7th where that can happen before. But it can always be a non-alcoholic beer. Great show. Obrigada from Anna Rita Vieira. Hey, Anna, thanks for your help last night as well. Thanks, Carl and Mia. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Many thanks, Mia. Very informative. Mia, just a quick question. Our Quinta calls Ferrador. Our Quinta is called Ferrador, named after an area, not after the person. Do you use Quinta de Ferrador or Quinta Ferrador?
Normally, it's, we would say, I think, de Ferrador. But I think it can be both, because it's kind of a name. You give the name you want, Quinta de Ferrador or Quinta Ferrador. But I think I would prefer de Ferrador. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, and you'll always remember Mia if you choose that way of naming it. How lovely. Makes sense to stay on the online format. It is a great mentality. And thanks from Hank. Thank you also from Nigel. Henry has been quiet, but stepped in to say thank you both as always. That's lovely to hear, Nigel. Thank you very much. And best morning Portugal show on the internet. Thanks. Oh, cheers, Hank. That's very, very kind feedback. Mia, I forgot to ask you, how did it go with the ballet exam?
I still didn't have it. It's still coming. It's still coming. Yeah, because, you never know now with COVID if it's going to happen, if it's not going to happen. Supposedly it's going to happen now on the 6th of July. But yeah.
So it's keeping you on your toes.
Yes, literally. Worst one. That was a good one.
Thank you very much. How are the cats?
The little cats now have found some forever homes, so that's good.
Perfect.
Yeah. So thank you for those who helped, and I still have to do because I'm gonna offer the A1 course to the not to all the people, but it's gonna be how do you say it in English? Like you take a number and then the person will get the A1 course from those who donated. So.
Oh, I see it, like a little lottery.
Yeah, exactly. I should have done this already, but it's been so hectic. But I didn't forget it. So.
Oh, that's really kind of you. So a little bit of a recognition there. So there's going to be a draw. It'll be a prize
draw. Thank you. I had a problem with that word.
Very, very good. Okay, well, muito obrigado, bom fim de semana, and all the best to Portugal, of course, in the next match.
Thanks. And to Belgium as well. Come on. We have to acknowledge the other
and England. as well.
But yeah, England as well. But
Yes, you've
yeah.
stepped it up a bit. I've been listening in the background while busy, so just popping into comments to say thank you. Great show. Thank you, Louise. Who was much love for Louise yesterday as a fellow YouTuber as well. Thank you for stepping in, Louise, and saying it means something to us to know that people are appreciating it. So thank you, Louise. And yeah, Mia, thank you so much. Bom fim de
Thank
semana.
you.
Tchau, até logo. Até já.
Ciao. Até
Yeah,
logo.
tchau. Abraços,
And if
beijinhos.
anyone has questions, you can also put my email somewhere, mia@learn-portuguese.org. Just
Okay, actually, let me do that now. That's Mia at learn dash
hyphen or dash.
yes, Portuguese, and it's a dot
Org.
org, isn't it? Yes, of course it is.
Mhm.
There it is. That's going in there, and I'll also, as we go out, we're going to watch this Bob Spondon's or Spondon Bob's great video of seeing their property for the first time. So, Mia, I know you're busy. You got stuff to do. Ciao, ciao.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ciao. Thank you.
cumprimentos a Dominic as well.
Obrigada. Cumprimento.
Ciao, ciao. There she goes, Mia Esmeriz, and there's her email address, Mia at learn-portuguese.org. And for the beginners class, let's put that link as well. Where's that gone? Expats Portugal. There's a link for you to click. You'll find that in the comments. So. Yes, Spondon Bob, thank you for this video. It came as quite a surprise to some people that a home would be bought on the internet in central Portugal. They've not actually been there. They liked what they saw online and they bought it. And this is the video that was taken when they arrived or shortly after they arrived. So we'll go out with this today, which I think is great. Here we go. And thank you for sending this to me, these Spondons, if that is indeed what you are called.
So this is my little video for Expats Portugal. I and Spondon Bob, as he's known, have bought a property in Portugal with 8,590, just short of 2 hectares really. So this is all our land. I'll show you more in a minute. Up there, which I'll get you a better picture, but this is the house. So I'll take it to the house. This is the garage on the side. This is Spondon Bob. I'll go further down the track so you can see a bit better. So that's the back of the house. And then the land that we have goes beyond those trees. And that's the view. Those trees will be coming down there, so we get that view. Show you the back. This is the back of the house. The vines. This is the front. Big old granite house. Beautiful. So the land over here goes from the edge of those trees beyond, right down that tree line, and we followed the tree line right round to our closest neighbours who have a holiday. That's the holiday home, and then right back up to where the track is, and then that's that side of the land. I don't know if you can see, this is the underside of the house. structurally sound, plenty of room, just needs a good clear out and a concrete floor. So up the steps, granite steps.
Voila.
This is the house, so this will be the foyer. This is the original kitchen, which will be the bathroom. This will be, the partition walls will come down. This will be the main room. So, with what will be fantastic views, like they're not already, but this is out the window. That's this room. And then we go up into, that's up into the loft, which will be the bedroom. So, yeah. And then this from up to the biggest tree there, right down the tree line, beyond where you can see. It's like the third lamppost now, so all that's the land with this house as well. So that's our internet buy that we'd never seen before, and this is the first time we've been. We're very, 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 very pleased.